Hello and welcome to another Flamingo Friday. You get no video of me this week because I am full of cold and frankly I look like crap. And I don't want my snotty face on the internet to make myself feel worse. So, this week I am going to be looking at Vicky Carden-Powell's website. She took me up on the offer to take a look at her homepage and do a public critique on it, so I'm going to do so. I'm going to start off by saying that there's actually a lot of good stuff on her website. There's a lot of elements of it that are great and that I would always recommend people do. There's just too much of it, and that's kind of the main thing. So before we start, I'm just going to have a quick look at the email she sent me. She's a consultant and advisor to small retail and product businesses, which is a nice niche to be in. Ideal client, she's outlined her ideal client here. So the very, very absolute first thing that I'm going to say is you need to go a lot deeper with your ideal client. What really motivates her? Because this is all surface stuff. It's a good start, it's all surface stuff. Okay, often struggles with the basics of running a business. Okay, that's fine. That's not going to be the stuff that motivates her. You know, what's really going to get under her skin? You want to be thinking about their internal problems and not their external problems. And if it helps at all, think about, I call it rage Googling. What's the, when you kind of reach the end of your tether and you're like, oh my fucking God, how do I solve this problem? And it's just like, I don't know, maybe it's like, I've got the world's itchiest eye. And it just gets to a point where you're like, okay, have I got like an eye tumour or something? And you're rage Googling. It's like, what the hell is wrong with my eye? Or the other day, for example, one of my chickens was sick because that's what chickens do best. They get sick. And she was kind of all full crop in the morning, all squishy, and then she gurgled out some really nasty green fluid. And so I just legged it straight inside her. I was like, my chicken is sick, throwing up green fluid. And so that's the kind of... And it immediately got me to a couple of sites where I was like, your chicken has sauerkraut. And it's like, oh, awesome. That's a whole new thing that I've just learned about chickens. Anyway, I digress. You've got to be thinking about that problem that you're going to be able to help people with. And then you've got to go deeper. What's the thing that... you're saying she struggles with the basics of running a business, the behind-the-scenes stuff. You've got to go a lot deeper than that. How does that impact her life? How does that make her life difficult? Okay, so let's have a look at your website. I can see why you're not happy with your homepage. It's actually the template's a bit screwed up, I think, and I would have a look at that. In fact, I would get somebody to do it for you and do a decent job of it, because I'll explain why in a moment. You'll see why. And the URL, as you say, is not great. Having said that, I love your name. Your brand name is the Retail Business Queen, and that's perfect. It's like, okay, so yeah, that kind of says what you do. So that's all good. Let's have a look. Okay, so immediately that I arrive, this pops up. I would make this pop up about 10 seconds after people arrive there, because otherwise it's a bit like in your face. Pop-ups work really well. All of the stats say that they work. People get really good results from them. What I don't like is when they pop up as soon as I arrive on a website. It's like, bam, buy my stuff. So give that a little bit of time before it pops up. Having said that, this is great. This is really good. This is exactly the kind of thing you want to be getting people to do as soon as they get to your website. It's like, okay, get on the mailing list. The question that I would ask you about that is this how to manage your stock and sales? Is this really their top problem and pain? Really? I don't know. You will know better than me. But I find it difficult to believe that is the biggest pain they're suffering at the moment, the biggest problem that they've got. If it's not, put this somewhere else. Have it as a resource for people, absolutely. But you need to be giving away something that's going to promise to solve the biggest, most painful problem that they've got right now. And the headline needs to speak exactly to that. 'Cause this is fine, but it's a little bit vague. 10 ways to supercharge your retail sales by doing what? So this is great. I'm not knocking it at all. I'm just questioning if it's exactly the right thing to be offering at this point. So have a think about that. Layout-wise, there's something gone wrong with it, because this header here is covering up some words here, the button is covering up this, it's all a bit screwed up, so this definitely needs sorting out. I'm just going to get rid of that so that we can look at the website. This definitely needs sorting out. The other problem I've got is this menu is quite intrusive, so every time I go anywhere near it and things pop up, I know that's my Pinterest button, ignore that. things pop up and it's kind of like, oh, I don't really, there's too much going on. So you're asking me to sign up for a free consultation. You're also asking me to join the VIP Retail Biz Club. And then there's all this stuff up here. It's too much. What you need to do is get a little hamburger menu, what we call hamburger menus, that are quite unobtrusive. And also make sure this disappears when I scroll down, because it's taking up half of the space on the page, and it's not a good use of the space. You haven't got a lot of room anyway. This is wasted space here, this is wasted space here. So what you want to do is have, I know people love their big hero images at the top. If you're going to do that, I would suggest you do what you've actually done here, which is have a picture here, and then the words here, because that makes sense. But what you want to have, actually, I would swap it over so the picture's here and the call to action is here, and have that as your most wanted action, because what I can't get from this page is, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to sign up for a free consultation? Do you want me to join the biz club? Do you want me to, I'm not sure what you want me to do, and then there's all this stuff down here, which I'll come to in a minute. So, what's the most valuable thing people can do? I would suggest that it is either getting them to download your freebie and get on your mailing list so that you can build a relationship with them, or it's get them to book a free consultation with you. You need to decide which one is the most important for you. This comes later, because this is selling something, which I had a quick look at it. It's too cheap, by the way. I would look at it and think, well, what am I going to get for that? So, yeah, I would suggest probably free consultation or freebie, so that people can get on your mailing list. You need to decide that, and you need to make that the absolute focus of your homepage, because at the moment it's kind of like, well, you're asking me to do all of these different things. All of this stuff, I don't care. And I can't read it anyway. I don't care about this stuff yet. All I care about at the moment is my problem, and you haven't told me that you understand what my problem is yet. So, the big problem here is, apart from that, I don't know what you can do for me. It's not until we get down here, and then there's all these other sign-ups as well. There's way too much going on here. It's the classic kitchen sink. It's the classic kitchen drawer of doom syndrome. Everybody has it. You're not alone. You'll know that if you've watched the last couple of critiques that I've done. It's like, I've got all this stuff and I need to just put it here, and so it goes on the homepage. You don't need to do that. Don't panic. You can put this stuff elsewhere. Don't call it freebies, by the way, while I'm on the subject. Call it resources or something else interesting. You're in retail. You can come up with something, something good, gifts, something, but not freebies. This stuff can go elsewhere. It's not until I get down here that we get to, oh, you know what, this is what I'm interested in. The other thing that I would question, because this is actually pretty good, work with me and I will teach you how to blah, blah, blah. Do they want to trade like a successful major retailer? Just check that, because I think that one of the reasons people go into retail on their own, and I may be wrong about this, is that they want to do it more personally than the big retailers. I could be wrong about that. If they genuinely want to trade like a big successful major retailer, fill your boots, that's great. Otherwise, I suspect that their problem is a little bit more visceral. So I will teach you how to, bring more customers through the door, blah, 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 blah. This isn't bad. It should be way further at the top. Which brings me on to the three main things that your homepage is missing. I would wipe this whole thing as a blank slate and start with a headline at the top, big headline. What's the big problem that you're solving for me, and the promise that you're going to make to solve it? You've kind of done that here. It needs refining. You need to really dig into your ideal customer and make sure this speaks to the thing that they're going to be thinking about when they arrive on your website. What's in it for me? How will what you're offering improve my life? That might be the freebie that you're selling, it might be the free consultation, at which point you need to sell it, because I had a quick click through the consultation. By the way, that's another problem. I can't right-click on your buttons. A lot of people, and I'm one of them, like to right-click so that we don't click away. You need to make it so these are right-clickable. But when I click through to your free consultation, all I got was, and this is a little extra bonus because I'm only doing your homepage because it's free. If you want more than that, then you can pay me the money. But it's like, okay, retail business queen 20-minute discovery call. Why? This needs to be a sales page. You need to sell this, because even though it's free, that's not enough. Because another big mistake people make is, oh, it's free, it's obvious. No, it's not. You need to spell it out to people. Why do I need to give up 20 minutes of my really busy day to talk to you? What am I going to get out of it? So that's super important. A little bonus for you there. Back to this. So, what's in it for me? How will whatever your most wanted action for me to do, how will that improve my life? Why should I do it? And then how do I do it? You need to make it really, really clear. So this is actually fine, but not on this page. The call to action bit is fine. This isn't bad at all. You can go deeper with these. Always think so that, reviewing your whole product range with a fresh approach, blah, 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 so that, how will that make my life easier? Learn how to plan your retail year, so that, how will that make my life easier? Always go back to the real internal problems that people are facing. Not that this is all solving external problems, which is fine, but what we really want to solve is the stuff that's inside, the stuff that's causing us emotional pain. And then we get down to here, and you said that your ideal customer is small businesses, but then we've got, well, are you corporate? Are you, wanting training? This needs to be probably somewhere up here, because remember, the main focus of your site needs to be getting people to do the thing that's going to be most profitable for you, for your ideal, and I think it's going to be most helpful to your ideal customer. So this stuff here, it might be stuff that you offer, but it needs to go somewhere else, because it's diluting your message. Because I'm going to get down here and I'm going to be like, oh, hang on, I thought she was a specialist in helping people just like me, but she's also working with corporates and training. There's nothing wrong with offering this, but it needs to not be obvious at the moment, because otherwise it dilutes the message to your main ideal customer. This is kind of just stuck in there, and I'm not really sure why. Because it's not really, it's just a stat, and it's fine. I would write a blog post or an article about that rather than have it on here. Really, we want to be thinking about, what's the most wanted action? What's the big problem and the promise that you're going to make to solve it? What's in it for me? How will this improve my life? And then how do I get it? That's the most important things to have on your homepage. And then you can scroll down, and start talking about things in a little bit more detail. You can talk about what your background is, how you can help people, why you're qualified to do it. Scroll down a little bit more and talk about blogs. Have your most useful blog posts up there, and make sure all of your blogs, by the way, answer the questions that your ideal customer is going to be asking. You can talk down here about the biggest threat to people's businesses. What's their enemy? Is their enemy, people always say, oh, Amazon's destroying my business. That's actually not true. People's businesses are being destroyed because they're not running them well enough. And I know that sounds like a really harsh thing to say, but it's true. You can't compete with Amazon. Sorry, that's a fighter plane going over. You can't compete with Amazon on price or convenience, ever. Nobody can. So stop trying. And that's the big mistake that retail businesses are making. They are trying to compete with Amazon on their own terms. It's going to kill them. What you're going to do is help them find a way to make, to do something, to offer something that Amazon can't offer, and that the big companies can't offer. The number of shops that I go into and I'm like, geez, you guys are missing a trick. And I know that you know what I'm talking about because you're the expert in this. That's what you can bring to people. That's how you can show them, how they're going to be different. They don't have to trade like the big boys. They can. Anyway, I'm getting slightly off topic. So all of that stuff, I would wipe the slate clean with this homepage and start from scratch and have a much simpler template. Get somebody who knows what they're doing to do it for you, and then make sure it's super, super clear. Super clear what you're offering, why you're offering it, what's in it for me and how I can get it. And then you can talk a little bit more. At the bottom you can send people to the blog post, because again, the more people read on your website, the more likely they are to buy from you. And just get rid of all these different calls to action, because at the moment I'm like, I don't know what to do first. So I hope that's helped. Like I said, there's a lot of good stuff on there. It's just too much of it all in the same place. So good luck, and let me know how you get on. If you want a more in-depth critique, or if you want more, and all this stuff that I've been talking about, by the way, is stuff that I have got newsletters on for my superheroes. There are back issues that you can buy. There are Q&A calls. Hop on a monthly Q&A call. If you join the superheroes, you will get regular critiques just like this, but in much more detail. Absolutely free, included in your membership fee. And that goes for anybody who joins. So I hope that's been helpful. Let me know how you get on, because I would like to know how people get on, because I'm doing this for free, but the price for you, if you like, is that you can, at the very least, let me know what you did and how you did it and how it worked for you or not. And I will see you same time next week for Flamingo Friday. Have a great weekend.